The first part of the story, Arrival, sets the stage for the entire narrative, establishing the protagonist, the alien environment, and the immediate tension that drives the plot. Captain Elias Granger, a human representative sent by an interstellar council, lands on Jarvok, a planet that has been isolated from male life for 105 years. Right from the beginning, the story immerses readers in the alien world and introduces the core conflict. Elias is perceived as both a threat and a resource by the Trivara tribe, whose survival instincts have been shaped by an extreme absence of males. The opening of the story focuses heavily on environment and mood. Jarvok's crimson plains create a sense of alienness and isolation. By describing the landscape as barren yet coarse, with sand that slightly gives under Elias's boots. The narrative emphasizes the physical challenges of the world, immediately grounding the reader in a hostile, unfamiliar environment. This is crucial for HFY, Humans Are Special stories, because it contrasts the human adaptability of the protagonist with the alien harshness of the terrain. Even before encountering the aliens, readers understand that survival will require skill, observation, and courage. The description of the twisted forest of bioluminescent spires, where the Trivara reside, not only paints a vivid image but signals the presence of life forms whose biology and society are fundamentally different from humans. The bioluminescence, a naturally alien trait, hints at a sophisticated, though perhaps unpredictable, culture. Immediately, the story establishes tension through the Trivara tribe's observation of Elias. Their physical appearance, tall, sinuous, with mottled blue-green skin and elongated limbs, signals otherness, while their behavior suggests both curiosity and potential danger. By emphasizing their long absence of male contact, the narrative explains why Elias is at risk. The Trivara have adapted to an all-female society for over a century, and the sudden arrival of a male triggers instinctive responses that blur the line between reverence and predation. Their hums, clicks, and tonal vibrations serve as auditory cues to their alien intelligence and communication methods, heightening the reader's awareness that humans are operating under unknown rules in this environment. Elias's initial reaction to the Trivara's approach demonstrates his human qualities, vigilance, quick thinking, and composure under stress. When one of the aliens lunges, the story emphasizes Elias's reflexes and presence of mind, characteristics that HFY narratives typically celebrate. Unlike previous generations of humans who might rely solely on weaponry or numbers, Elias's survival depends on observation, intuition, and physical skill, highlighting the adaptability that defines humanity in the HFY genre. This encounter also serves a narrative function. It immediately establishes the stakes. The reader understands that the Trivara are not just potentially hostile. They are biologically and socially driven by the absence of males, meaning that Elias is as much a curiosity and symbol as he is a potential meal. The Council's warnings provide essential exposition without halting the narrative. They explain the danger succinctly. Do not underestimate the Trivara. Starved for male presence, they will devour during desperation. This line foreshadows future challenges while reinforcing the urgency of the situation. The tension is psychological as much as physical. Elias must navigate not only the aliens' strength, but their cultural and instinctive imperatives. Finally, Part 1 establishes the story's core HFY theme, human resilience. From the very first steps on Jarvok, Elias embodies traits celebrated in HFY fiction: calm under pressure, quick adaptability, and an unyielding willingness to face danger. These traits contrast sharply with the Trivara's reactive, hunger-driven society, highlighting human ingenuity and emotional intelligence as tools for survival. By the end of Part 1, the reader understands that the story is not just about alien contact. It is about a human asserting his identity and capabilities in a world where humans are biologically and culturally unknown. The foundation is laid for the ensuing narrative, a clash between survival instincts and intelligence, curiosity and fear, and most importantly, the arrival of a species capable of reshaping the alien world simply by being human. Of the story, understanding the hunger shifts the narrative from immediate danger to the gradual comprehension of the Trivara tribe's psychology, biology, and social dynamics. This part is crucial because it deepens the reader's understanding of the alien species and simultaneously emphasizes human traits that define the HFY genre: observation, intelligence, empathy, and adaptability. Whereas Part 1 focused on first, contact and the initial threat, Part 2 explores the underlying motivations of the Trivara and illustrates how Elias begins to navigate their unpredictable behavior. After surviving the initial encounter with the lunging Trivara, Elias spends hours observing their behavior from a cautious distance. This observation is critical for two reasons. First, it conveys the alienness of the environment in a non-violent, immersive way. Second, it highlights the human trait of analytical thinking in high-risk scenarios. Unlike the Trivara, whose instincts are guided by immediate survival needs and hunger-driven impulses, Elias relies on careful study, patience, and deduction. He notes that the tribe society has fractured due to the absence of males for over a century, resulting in behaviors that are simultaneously sophisticated and primal. This contrast between instinctual alien behavior and calculated human reasoning is central to the HFY theme, demonstrating that intelligence and adaptability are as potent as physical strength in survival situations. A key element in Part 2 is the revelation of the Trivara's desperation. The narrative explains that their biology has adapted to a prolonged absence of males, creating both a cultural vacuum and physiological triggers that make them highly sensitive to the presence of a male. Elias notices subtle signs, the way the Trivara scan him with heightened attention, the almost predatory precision of their movements, and the way even his heartbeat seems to communicate presence and intent. These details serve two functions. They build tension by emphasizing the real danger Elias faces, and they establish stakes that go beyond physical confrontation. The Trivara's hunger is not merely for food, it is symbolic, representing the absence of a key gender in their species, and a longing that drives their aggressive tendencies. Elias's first meaningful interaction comes through a younger, less intimidating Trivara who approaches cautiously. This moment illustrates a turning point in the story. Human ingenuity and empathy begin to influence alien behavior. By offering water, Elias engages in a cross-species exchange that conveys trust, non-aggression, and problem-solving without the need for violence. The alien's initial hesitation followed by acceptance demonstrates that the Trivara respond not just to threats or dominance, but to gestures that convey safety and understanding. Here, the narrative reinforces a key HFY principle. Humans excel not only through raw strength, but also through intelligence, emotional insight, and diplomacy, even in situations where other species operate primarily on instinct. Part 2 also emphasizes Elias's ability to decode alien behavior. He recognizes that fear would provoke the tribe's predatory instincts, while confidence and calm assertiveness could mitigate danger. This insight is crucial because it establishes Elias as a model human, someone capable of understanding and influencing species far removed from human norms. The story carefully conveys this by contrasting the Trivara's reactive tendencies with Elias's deliberate approach. He observes, experiments, and adapts in real time, showing that humans are not merely reactive creatures, but problem solvers capable of surviving extreme environments. The tension in this section is both psychological and physical. Elias must navigate the fine line between being prey and being a respected presence. His survival depends on reading the Trivara's cues correctly acting decisively and demonstrating traits that the tribe recognizes as dominant or valuable. The narrative emphasizes that this is not a battle of strength alone, it is a battle of comprehension, adaptability, and human ingenuity. In essence, Elias is not just surviving. He is teaching the Trivara, through example, what a male human represents: resilience, intelligence, and the capacity to engage with the unknown. By the end of Part 2, the reader sees the first glimmers of mutual understanding. The tribe's initial hostility begins to soften into curiosity, laying the foundation for the later parts of the story. Elias's successful engagement with the young Trivara and his growing understanding of their social and biological triggers demonstrate that humanity's greatest strength lies in the combination of intelligence, courage, and empathy. These traits allow humans to survive, thrive, and even influence alien species in ways that brute force alone cannot achieve. In summary, understanding the hunger serves as a bridge between the initial survival-oriented conflict of Part 1 and the trials and acceptance explored in later sections. It provides essential exposition on alien behavior while emphasizing HFY themes, showing how human observation, empathy, and adaptability allow one individual to navigate a dangerous and unfamiliar world. By the conclusion of this part, Elias has not only survived but begun to influence the Trivara, marking the first step toward reshaping an entire alien society through the distinct qualities that define humanity. Proving Humanity is the pivotal section of the story where Captain Elias Granger moves from observation and cautious interaction to active demonstration of his capabilities. This part emphasizes the core HFY, humans are special, theme. Human. Ingenuity, adaptability, courage, and resilience are not just tools for survival. They are transformative forces, even in an alien society. While Part 1 established the immediate physical threat and Part 2 developed understanding and psychological insight, Part 3 shows Elias asserting his identity and demonstrating qualities that separate humans from any other species the Trivara have known. The chapter begins with the Trivara matriarch deciding to test Elias. This is a crucial narrative decision because it formalizes the stakes. The aliens are no longer simply observing him, they are evaluating his worth. The challenge is set in the open plains, under the harsh alien light of Jarvok's twin suns, emphasizing vulnerability and exposure. Every trial the Trivara conduct, strength, reflexes, endurance, and intelligence, serves as a direct probe into human capabilities. In HFY storytelling, this is a classic device. Humans are placed in extreme conditions, and their ability to think creatively, adapt, and survive under duress proves their exceptional nature. The trials themselves are designed to reflect the Trivara's own instincts and priorities. Strength is tested through direct physical confrontation, reflexes through unexpected ambushes or sudden movements, and endurance through environmental challenges unique to their world. Intelligence is assessed subtly, often by observing how Elias handles unfamiliar situations or navigates alien customs. By succeeding in these trials, Elias proves that humanity is not a fragile species dependent solely on tools or weapons. Rather, humans are versatile and capable of understanding complex systems, even under life-threatening stress. Elias's approach to the trials is key to the HFY theme. He does not rely on aggression or domination to win. He relies on adaptability and keen observation. When faced with a challenge, he analyzes the situation, anticipates alien behavior, and reacts in a way that demonstrates both physical competence and strategic thinking. This distinction is important. The Trivara operate largely on instinct, especially when it comes to male presence, while Elias combines instinct with intellect. The narrative carefully emphasizes this contrast to reinforce the human advantage. In adaptability, a recurring motif in HFY literature. The climax of Part 3 occurs when Elias faces the matriarch directly. She is described as massive, imposing, with scales that glint like molten silver, a visual cue to her power and status. Her assessment is not only physical, it is psychological and cultural. By extending a hand, a gesture of trust and recognition, Elias engages in cross-species communication that transcends violence. The matriarch's acknowledgement signifies that Elias has passed the ultimate test. He is not prey, and he embodies qualities worthy of respect. This moment reinforces the HFY message. Humans excel not just through combat, but through courage, intelligence, empathy, and the ability to navigate complex social structures, even alien ones. Another crucial aspect of Part 3 is the subtle commentary on human identity. Elias does not merely survive, he asserts what it means to be a male human in a society that has not seen one for over a century. His mere presence disrupts the Trivara's established hierarchy and expectations, and by succeeding in their trials, he establishes a new paradigm, one where humans are not just external observers, but active agents capable of influencing alien cultures. This aligns with the HFY ethos, showcasing humanity's unique combination of resilience, intellect, and moral flexibility in unfamiliar environments. Additionally, Part 3 builds dramatic tension while also providing a payoff to the suspense established in Parts 1 and 2. The reader witnesses Elias face real danger, understand alien behavior, and leverage his human traits to survive and assert authority. Each trial, each physical or psychological test, strengthens the narrative's message. Humans are capable of thriving where others may fail, not through brute strength alone, but through adaptability, ingenuity, and courage under pressure. In C. Summary: Proving Humanity serves as the story's turning point. Elias transitions from being an outsider at risk of being devoured to a respected presence whose qualities define the human species in the eyes of an alien society. Through the trials, the story emphasizes that human adaptability, intelligence, and courage are extraordinary traits that can influence, inspire, and even reshape alien cultures. Part 3 is both the climax of Elias's personal struggle and the narrative's embodiment of the HFY theme. Humanity's survival and superiority are rooted not in domination or weapons, but in the mind, the spirit, and the resilience of the species itself. Acceptance is a turning point in the story where Captain Elias Granger moves from proving his individual strength and adaptability to actively influencing the Trivara tribe's society. This part is essential for emphasizing the HFY, humans are special theme, as it showcases the uniquely human ability to transform not only outcomes for oneself, but also the structures and behaviors of an alien civilization. Whereas earlier parts focused on survival and understanding, Part 4 demonstrates that humanity's qualities, empathy, intelligence, and ingenuity, can foster social evolution, even among a species that has been cut off from male presence for over a century. The narrative begins with the Trivara gradually approaching Elias with curiosity rather than aggression. This shift is significant. It visually and symbolically represents the transformation from predator-prey dynamics to mutual recognition. Elias's survival of the trials in Part 3 has proven his physical and intellectual competence, but acceptance is a deeper form of achievement. It requires the alien tribe to trust and engage with him voluntarily. The story emphasizes that this change is not immediate. The Trivara still approach cautiously, reflecting the realism of cross-species interaction. Their initial caution reinforces the notion that human influence must be earned through consistent demonstration of capability, empathy, and understanding rather than mere dominance. A critical moment in this part is Elias sharing knowledge, food, and technological assistance with the Trivara. These acts serve multiple narrative purposes. Practically, they address immediate survival needs, which builds trust. Symbolically, they highlight human problem-solving and cooperative tendencies, traits that the Trivara have lacked due to isolation and the loss of males from their society. By helping them repair shelters and providing tools, Elias introduces concepts of resourcefulness and collaborative work. These demonstrations are subtle but potent indicators of humanity's adaptive intelligence, traits that extend beyond individual survival into the realm of societal advancement. The story also explores the psychological and cultural aspects of acceptance. The matriarch who tested Elias during the trials becomes a key figure in acknowledging his influence. Her observations and interactions with Elias demonstrate that humans can navigate complex social hierarchies, respect cultural norms, and earn authority without resorting to violence. When she speaks to him, translated through the shuttle's universal translator, she articulates the depth of their previous deprivation and how Elias's presence has reshaped their perspective. The acknowledgement that humans can instill hope and stability in a society that has been fractured by isolation reinforces the HFY theme. Humanity's defining traits, emotional intelligence, adaptability, and ingenuity, allow them to excel where instinct alone is insufficient. Another central focus of Part 4 is the transformation within the Trivara themselves. Their initial desperation and predatory instincts begin to shift toward curiosity, engagement, and cooperation. Elias acts as a catalyst, showing that even in species with primal survival-driven behaviors, exposure to human qualities can introduce new possibilities. This mirrors a common HFY motif. Humans do not simply survive, their presence reshapes environments, societies, and expectations. By demonstrating that strength is not limited to aggression and intelligence can guide behavior, Elias sets a foundation for the Trivara to evolve socially and culturally. The story also emphasizes pacing and tension in this part. Unlike the immediate danger of Part 1 or the trials of Part 3, acceptance is gradual and reflective. The narrative slows to explore interactions, small gestures, and the developing trust between species. This pacing allows readers to appreciate the significance of human influence beyond combat or survival scenarios. The focus on learning, teaching, and mutual recognition reinforces that human excellence in HFY stories is multidimensional. It combines physical ability with intellectual foresight, emotional awareness, and the capacity to inspire change. By the end of Part 4, the Trivara tribe is no longer entirely defined by instinct or hunger. They are beginning to recognize Elias as both a male human and a symbol of broader possibilities. Around the glowing pit fire, they celebrate his survival and contributions, marking a symbolic rebirth of their social cohesion. This scene illustrates the full impact of human presence. It transforms fear and aggression into respect, curiosity, and hope. Elias has moved from outsider to a figure of influence, showing that humans' defining qualities allow them to navigate and reshape alien societies in ways other species cannot. Legacy serves as the story's conclusion, highlighting the long-term impact of human presence on the Trivara tribe and reinforcing the core HFY, humans are special theme. While previous sections focused on survival, understanding, and earning, acceptance. Part 5 emphasizes the transformative power of humanity, how a single human, through adaptability, intelligence, courage, and moral leadership, can reshape an alien society fundamentally. This final segment demonstrates that humans do not merely survive or thrive. They leave a lasting imprint on the environments and cultures they encounter, often in ways that other species cannot. The section begins with weeks passing after Elias's initial arrival. This passage of time is crucial because it shows that influence is cumulative. The Trivara, once driven by instinct and desperation, begin to adopt new behaviors inspired by Elias. They rebuild their social structures, guided by observation, imitation, and direct instruction from the human. The narrative emphasizes that transformation is gradual. Trust must be established, knowledge must be absorbed, and instincts must be tempered by experience. This reflects a key HFY motif, that humans excel not only in immediate survival, but also in long-term societal engineering. The Trivara are being reshaped not through force, but through human example, highlighting a form of power uniquely associated with humanity. Elias's influence extends to both practical and cultural aspects of Trivara life. He introduces problem-solving, strategies, cooperative behaviors, and even technological applications, all tailored to their physiology and environment. These contributions are significant because they demonstrate human ingenuity in cross-species contexts. Whereas brute strength or dominance could only achieve limited results, Elias's combination of intelligence, adaptability, and patience yields sustainable change. The narrative reinforces the idea that human excellence lies in the integration of mind and body, intellect and empathy, a hallmark of HFY storytelling. The story also emphasizes psychological transformation within the Trivara. Their previous desperation and predatory tendencies are gradually replaced by curiosity, collaboration, and social cohesion. This is particularly important because it underscores the ripple effect of human presence. Elias is not simply surviving among the aliens. He is catalyzing an evolution of their society. The narrative subtly conveys that humans' unique combination of moral courage, emotional intelligence, and foresight allows them to inspire and guide, even in species whose social norms have been stagnant for over a century. The Trivara begin to see humans as more than individuals. They recognize the species' broader qualities, including resilience, creativity, and capacity for leadership. A pivotal moment in Part 5 is the arrival of the Interstellar Council shuttle to retrieve Elias. This event serves both as a narrative device to bring closure and as a symbol of recognition. Elias has fulfilled his mission, not through dominance or conquest, but through influence and example. The matriarch's presence on the landing pad, her elongated form silhouetted against Jarvok's red plains, reinforces the story's HFY themes. Her acknowledgement, stating that he came as prey but leaves as their male, encapsulates the transformation that has occurred. Humanity has proven that strength is not merely physical, it is moral, intellectual, and inspirational. The Trivara now view humans as a species capable of reshaping worlds, societies, and behaviors through qualities that are fundamentally human. The narrative also addresses the lasting consequences of Elias's presence. Even after his departure, the Trivara are poised for social evolution. Their behaviors, norms, and priorities have shifted. Survival-driven aggression has been tempered by curiosity and cooperation. Hierarchical rigidity is softened by the example of adaptive problem-solving, and their instincts toward predation are moderated by exposure to human morality and intelligence. This outcome emphasizes a recurring HFY theme. Humanity leaves a mark on every environment it touches, not merely by surviving or conquering, but by inspiring growth and adaptation in other species. Elias's legacy is thus both tangible and intangible, structural, cultural, and psychological. Finally, Part 5 reinforces the story's overarching HFY message. Humans are not merely another species navigating the cosmos. They are a force of ingenuity, resilience, and inspiration. Elias's journey demonstrates that survival is only the first step. The true power of humanity lies in its ability to adapt, understand, and elevate other societies. By the conclusion, the reader sees that humans, through courage, intelligence, and empathy, can influence alien civilizations in ways that no other species can, leaving lasting legacies that extend beyond their immediate presence. In summary, legacy brings the narrative, to a satisfying close by emphasizing transformation and influence over raw power. Elias's presence reshapes the Trevara tribe physically, socially, and psychologically, reinforcing the HFY theme that humanity's defining traits, resilience, intelligence, adaptability, and moral courage, allow them not just to survive, but to inspire and lead. The story ends with the clear message that humans are extraordinary not only in their actions, but in the enduring impact they leave on the universe around them.